Hello everyone, welcome back to Skill Deck channel. My name is Richa. I'm back again with the next video. Today's video is about IT recruitment. Yes, for this IT recruitment, I have already created one video where I have explained that who are the developers. If you remember in the previous video, before a few months, we have learned about IT recruitment mind map. We have learned what are the designations as a recruiter we have to source, and in these designations, if I have to build the Boolean, what are the keywords I have to put? What are the main keywords? Because before we start sourcing, we need to understand the profile to make a better search. And we have learned about the developers in the last video. Today, this video is the second part of that video where we will be learning the other designations like mobile app developers, Devops, database. These all things we are going to learn in today's video. If you have not watched the part 1, I will put the link over here. Please go and watch the part 1 before you look for the part 2. And also please do subscribe Skill Deck channel and like the videos, comment. I'm waiting for your comments. Please comment and tell me what are the other topics you want me to record. And do subscribe. Watch the Skill Deck website www.theskilldeck.com for our upcoming courses. Just go there, go to July courses and see what are the upcoming courses of the Skill Deck if you want to enroll for live courses. Now for this topic, let's go and let's start learning. Now, we are going to delve into the intricacies of mobile app development now. As an IT recruiter, we are going to understand the specific role, languages, frameworks, tools used in mobile development that will automatically empower us to source and select the best candidate for our organizations. We have to understand that if we will understand the profile, then only we can source. Just looking the JD, finding the keywords from that will not help always. So first let's understand who are these mobile app developers. We have to categorize mobile app developers into two types. One is native app and one is cross platform app. Native app means they are specified to that particular platform like iOS, Android. So people who build the applications on iOS will be called as iOS developers, and build the applications on Android will be called as Android developers. So iOS developers specialize in creating the applications for Apple devices. The languages what they use, programming language I mean, Swift and Objective C, and work within Xcode IDE. They will develop apps for iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV. But Android developers, they use programming language as Java, Kotlin. Their tools, primarily tools, is Android Studio, Eclipse IDE. So if you find Android Studio means Android developer. Android Studio is a tool. Language is Java and Kotlin. Same way for iOS, the language is Swift or Objective C. Xcode IDE is the platform where they build or a tool where they build. These developers, so now after the Android and iOS developers, we also have a cross platform app developers. Who are the cross platform app developers? The developers who will work on both Android also and iOS also. So one application you are building which can work on both will be called as cross platform. So the developers who do that are cross platform app developers. The popular languages and frameworks for cross platform are React Native, by using JavaScript as a programming language. React Native is the framework. Ionic, it's a HTML5 framework for hybrid mobile apps. Flutter, Dart language, Flutter is the framework. Xamarin, C Sharp is the language, Xamarin is the framework which can be used to build the cross platform. So cross platform mainly React Native, Ionic, Flutter and Xamarin. These are the frameworks: JavaScript, HTML5, Dart and C Sharp. These are the languages. So I hope we have understood the difference between iOS, Android and cross platform and the main languages they use. To recap, iOS languages: Swift, Objective C, tool is Xcode. Android languages: Java, Kotlin, tool is Android Studio, Eclipse. Sometime for Android we use libraries like Retrofit, Picasso. Cross platform languages mainly JavaScript, C Sharp, Dart. Frameworks: React Native, Ionic, Flutter, Xamarin. Now, if you see here what I was teaching you, for mobile app, we have a native app, we have a cross platform app. Native is divided further into iOS and Android. And for iOS, these are the main languages: Android, Java, Kotlin. For cross platform, JavaScript, C Sharp, Dart. For JavaScript, the frameworks React Native, Ionic, Titanium, C Sharp, Xamarin is the framework, Dart is the Flutter. This is what we have learned. Whatever the programming languages and the frameworks and the tools we know, we need to use those keywords to build our boolean. Then only we will be able to find the relevant candidate and ensure these keywords are in your job description also. So now let's focus on desktop app developers and DevOps. Let's understand their roles, skill, languages, and tools that is required. So first, let's start with the desktop application development. So in the desktop app, you can see here application developer and a Java developer. Let's understand what is the meaning of this. So in a desktop app, again we have two things: platform specific and cross platform development. For a Windows, we use the language like C Sharp and framework like WPF, WinForms, UWP. For a Mac platform, like I'm building a app which is for Mac especially, then the programming language will be Objective C and Swift. Framework will be Cocoa. In my first video, I have already made you understand what's a framework. So again, I'm repeating. For Windows, we have a programming language like C Sharp, framework WPF, WinForm, UWP. For a Mac, we have a programming language Objective C and Swift working with Cocoa as a framework. And if we are building any app for the desktop that should work for both Windows and Mac, then the language will become Java. Swing could be the framework. JavaScript can also be the language with Electron, C Sharp with Qt, Python with PyQt, C Sharp with Unity also. So, Windows developer, C Sharp as a language, and the frameworks are different: WP, WinForm, UWP. Mac, Objective C and Swift language, Cocoa as a framework. Cross platform, Java, Swing framework, JavaScript can be the programming language, Electron can be the framework, C++, Qt as a framework, Python, PyQt, C Sharp, Unity as a framework. These are the requirements we have for the desktop app. So when you have a requirement, just check with your team or a HOD who has given you a requirement, that whether they are looking to build the desktop app for only Windows, for app, or a cross platform. Then you can use these keywords to build your boolean. And sometime for a window we need a IDE, Visual Studio, means a platform knowledge, a tool knowledge. And for a window we need a Visual Studio. For Mac we need Xcode knowledge. These can also become your keywords. So that was about a desktop app we should know as a recruiter. Now if we are looking for a DevOps, a very important requirement, but DevOps app is very, I'll say, a company specific. Some companies, if you will, some companies just look a person for coordination, some companies look a person to handle the security. It is totally company specific, but I'll explain you first what is the meaning of DevOps. DevOps is the combination of two words: development and operations. So this person helps collaboration between development and operation teams to enhance the productivity by doing certain automation, continue integration, how to do the integrations, delivery. That's the responsibility of a DevOps. Let's find a DevOps here. So this is the total landscape of a DevOps developer. You can see it's huge, but main roles and responsibilities: implementing CI/CD pipelines, automating the infrastructure, monitoring the health of the system. Now, if you will read this mind map, you can see that DevOps is required mainly for these things: integrations, configuration management, log management, network monitoring, alerting. So, main network handling, ensuring the right integration is there, ensuring the things are live. There is it is live. If you're using a cloud, then the knowledge of cloud is required. The person should know that little bit of programming. should know how to secure the code. Secure code management is also required for DevOps. Should know, understand the testing, should have a knowledge of containers. So there are, it's like a huge thing a person should know. Now, step by step, because it's a big, wide frame, the scope of this job is wide. So we have to understand in my company what we are expecting from DevOps. If we are expecting the DevOps to do integration and continue delivery, we call it as continue integration is call it as CI. Continuous delivery is called as CD. So if in my company I'm looking for CI CD, then the tools that will be used is Jenkins, GitLab, Circle CI, Bamboo, Travis CI. These will become my keywords. Jenkins, GitLab, Circle CI, Bamboo, Travis CI. These will become the tools for CI and CD. If I am looking for configuration management to configure and to do the provisioning, then the tools will be Ansible, Puppet, Chef. For log management, Splunk, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana. For cloud, the person should have, if your software or a website or whatever you have built that's on cloud, then person should have a knowledge of that particular cloud. Mainly for public clouds we have AWS, Azure, IBM cloud. For private cloud we have OpenStack, Cloud Stack. These knowledges a person should have. Infrastructure knowledge a DevOps should have. If you are using, there are three type: IaaS, PaaS. So for IaaS, tools are DigitalOcean, AWS EC2, Google App Engine. And for source code management, Git, Subversion. For containers, Docker, Kubernetes. For monitoring, Datalog, Graphite, PagerDuty, New Relic, Negios. These are the tools that's required. So what we have understood looks very complicated. Please don't get confused. Understand the DevOps has a, it's a bigger landscape. It's a big, it has a variety of jobs to be done. We have to understand what the person I require. Do I need a person for source code management? Do I need a person to do network monitoring? Mainly when we hire a DevOps, we need the DevOps for these things: integration, configuration management, log management, network monitoring, alerting, source code management, containment, and analysis. Some companies need the DevOps to have a development knowledge, do the testing also. And if your product is built on cloud, then the cloud, these all public private cloud knowledge, as PaaS, these all knowledges are required. Again, to recap on the tools for continuous integration and continued delivery, what we call it as CI CD, the tools are Jenkins, GitLab, Circle CI, Bamboo, Travis. It depends what your company is looking for. For configuration management, Ansible, Puppet, Chef. For log management, Splunk, Elasticsearch, Logstash. For cloud, depends whether it's a public or a private cloud. Public AWS, GCP, Azure. Private cloud stack, OpenStack. For AS and PaaS, we have a different tools. You can see it here. Not the tools, service providers. Microsoft Azure, Amazon, DigitalOcean for PaaS, AWS, Cloud Foundry, Heroku. And for source code management, Git, Mercurial, Subversion. For containment, containerization, and containerization, tools are Docker, Kubernetes. For monitoring, New Relic, Datalog, Graphite, PagerDuty. These are the tools that a person should know if you want to hire a DevOps. A DevOps life cycle is like that person has to do continuous integration, merging changes frequently, running automated tests, should do the release processes to ensure every change is ready for production. Using the person need to use the code to manage the infrastructure. That person need to maintain the system healthy. And if some attack is there, threat is there, that person should be able to solve that. This is the role of a DevOps. I hope you have understood the DevOps role. These are the main things that DevOps is a big role. The DevOps is supposed to do the CI, CD, log management, networking, alerting, source code management, and containment. If we are doing a cloud, the product is on cloud, then a cloud knowledge is required. Along with that, the person should have know the team culture, know how to communicate, so that the person mainly should deal with the operation team and the development team to solve those problems which will come. This is the main job of DevOps. Now in my next video we will be talking the about the next roles. So far, we have understood who are the desktop app developers, mobile app developers, a front end developer, back end developer, full stack developer, desktop app developer, different types of mobile app developer, DevOps. These are the different designations we have studied, and we have understood that Boolean, to build a right Boolean, we need to understand the frameworks, programming language, tools, so that we can use these keywords to frame a right Boolean. If we will not understand the designation, we will not have a right keyword, and ultimately we will not have a right candidates. So having the knowledge of these programming languages, tools, and frameworks is very, very important as an IT recruiter. We have covered few of the designations. Now in my next videos we will be learning the rest all designations, like data types or the database developers, what are the different roles, and many others. So stay tuned. Keep watching this series. I'll be creating 3 4 more videos related to this, so that we are able to understand complete IT recruitment in detail with these videos. And if you will have any more topics that you want me to record, please comment so that I know what are the other topics you want me to record the videos on. And please do subscribe the channel, hit like, share the channel with other HR with the share the channel with other HR fraternity people, and watch our website www.theskilldeck.com. Skilldeck is launching new courses on finance, AI, and human resources. Please watch the website to know about these courses. I will be coming back shortly with the next series of videos. By then, take care. Bye bye.